Making a girl fall in love with you is not as hard as you may think. Because a lot of the times we may obviously think that if you do more, that's gonna eventually make her fall in love with you. But the reality is, you should do less. Like, guys, I'm not gonna lie, this may sound a bit controversial, but the coach doesn't play. You guys initially need to understand that making a girl fall in love with you is actually a very dangerous dynamic. You initially need to understand that if you do this and use this as a form of you being selfish, you can initially hurt this girl forever. Now, I'm not saying you should obviously not do it just because I said that. I'm actually encouraging you to do this just to show you that it actually works. Now, what do I mean by you should actually do less? That's exactly what I mean. Become the chilled guy. Because the more chilled you are, the more she's obviously gonna wanna know why you're so chilled and so unbothered. Now, it's not that crazy because I know that we all crash out. I'm not gonna lie, I'm even obviously trying to retire as a crash out myself because I initially know that it's not easy, especially when things get to a point. Because things really do get to a point and you just start crashing out like crazy. I'm obviously advising every single person out there to obviously not crash out because I know it obviously gets tough and release all of that tension out of our bodies so that we can obviously feel relieved. So you'd obviously have to become the chilled guy and be laid back and obviously not let anything around you obviously bother you. Now, I'm not obviously saying you should obviously not be unbothered to an extent. What I mean by this is if you're obviously dealing with a certain girl and she obviously does something that you don't like, I need you to call her out for it. I want you to actually tell her that you don't like this. For an example, me personally, if I'm obviously with someone and she has guy friends, I'm gonna tell her it's either them or me. If you're not choosing me for the start and you decide to choose me, I'm not gonna take you seriously. If you got guy friends, we are not gonna take each other seriously. Because deep down, those guys wouldn't even mind doing anything with you. A lot of the times, you've obviously seen the baddest of girls with the most unattractive guys. That's because they're obviously what? It's either some of them are simps, or it's either the other ones can stimulate their emotions to the core. The girl's emotions, of course. Knowing how to obviously make a girl fall in love with you is very dangerous, bro. That's why once you do it, you'll be a gone guy. This girl can initially be in love with you for eternity to a point where you'll even be the one to want to get rid of her. But I'm not saying most of you should now obviously abuse this and do it with every single girl. If you obviously don't chase this girl, be laid back, she'll eventually be the one chasing you. Gets to a point where it obviously seems like nothing is actually working out. But trust me, it eventually works out because you need to understand that girls love chasing. I don't know who told you this thing of guys love chasing, guys are supposed to chase. Those are the ones that love chasing. You're gonna have to use this to your advantage. Girls are very emotional beings. Once you give them some sort of validation and you obviously take that away from them, they're obviously gonna want to be seeking it even more. So that's why I advise guys to never chase but just pursue. Why do you think that the girls that always reject you are always the ones to come back? If you're obviously the one that chased this girl, she's never coming back. But if you just pursued her, spoke to her, and just showed your initial interest, but never really pushed, come on, bro. She'll eventually be for you. Don't let them fool you into thinking that you must like them. I'm not saying you should obviously overcompensate, but just be the chilled guy. Watch how everything plays out. Become the chilled guy. Don't let anything bother you. If you notice something that you don't like, you point it out. Don't let them walk over you. Once you obviously see that you're an honest being and you obviously don't take nonsense from the get-go, she'll love you for that person that you are. But I see a lot of guys are obviously scared to be honest because they're scared of how the girl's gonna react. But in reality, you've got more leverage than her, than them. Don't stop, don't lose hope. If you see this girl you like, go to her, speak to her. Don't chase her though. She'll eventually chase you once you be laid back, chilled, and just get to know the person. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. As always, subscribe to the most notifications. Follow me on Instagram at VictorVic. But always remember, the coach doesn't play.